Hi everyone and welcome back to the ChromaticKnits podcast. My name is Michelle and this is my place on the internet where I talk about all of my yarny and crafty goodness. You can find me on Instagram as chromatic_knits and you can find me on Ravelry as ChromaticKnits. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. I always enjoy seeing all of your comments down below. Feel free to comment. I love hearing from you. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. As in, I'm not going to be showing FOs, I'm not going to be talking about whips or what I'm knitting on. Today is all about acquisitions. So recently I went to Tulsa to visit my in-laws, and in Tulsa there are two big yarn stores. There's the Knit Stars store, and then there's also Get Stitchin' is the other store. The two stores are very different as far as what they carry and the price ranges that they have. So I have tours of each of them that I will be putting in here. And then I just want to talk a little bit about each of the stores as well. So if you're not into that, feel free to skip this one. But today I just want to talk about all of this yarny goodness that I had while I was out of town. So the first place I went to was called Get Stitchin'. Get Stitchin' is a small store in Tulsa. I'll be sharing what they have in their store. A lot of what they have in their store is lower priced yarns. So they have some acrylic yarns. They have some acrylic blends. They have more like bulk made instead of hand dyed type yarns. They do have some hand dyed yarns, but the majority of them are mill or machine made. So they do have a lot of great brands that you would have heard of that are good for your budget. So things like West Yorkshire Spinners. They have a few different lines of West Yorkshire Spinners. Oh my goodness. Say that 10 times fast. They have a few different lines of West Yorkshire Spinners, which we all know is British wool. Comes from England, and it's a very quality, durable yarn. It's also, a lot of it is non-superwash and just very kind of sticky and good to go. A lot of the yarns that they had there were like Cascade yarns. They had some like Malabrigo, and then they had a local hand dyer as well as a bunch of different other brands. So you'll see a little bit of all of that. They did have a mix of crocheting and a mix of knitting. So they carry knitting needles there, mostly Knitter's Pride is what they carry there. They used to carry Haya, but they've been slowly working them out of the process, and they also have Chow Goose. So those are available there as well if you're interested in any of that. They also have their own fiber. So you'll see there's some fiber that's going to come up. They have a local farm where they get these huge bats from. They get this raw fiber, and they also get milled fiber from them. So they're the natural colors. They're not dyed. So if you are interested in dyeing yourself, you could definitely, if you're interested in spinning and dyeing, this is the place to go. This is the one place, kind of the one-stop shop for fiber in the Tulsa area. So would definitely check that out. And again, it's going to be at a reasonable price. I know that, a lot of times when we think of yarn, we're thinking of those hand-dyed specialty yarns, but it's just not in everyone's budget, and it's just not the best thing for every project. So definitely want to go check them out and see what they have to offer. They also have a really good community. So I just happened to go on a Tuesday when they were open. They do have special hours for summer, but they will be extending those hours going into winter, just as a heads up in case you're headed that way. On Tuesdays, they have a sock club, which I didn't know that. Just happened to randomly stumble into the store during the sock club, and the people there were super welcoming, super nice. Could not say enough. Next time I'm in Tulsa, it is my first stop for sure. And they also have a group that gets together on Fridays. So if you're there, if you're in the area, you're available Tuesdays or Fridays, and you're looking for kind of a knitting group to get with, they're there on those days. So would definitely check that out. What else about Get Stitchin'? It is kind of hidden. It's in a little strip mall, so you just have to kind of look at the signs. But it is kind of in the back corner. So they have kind of this dyeing studio, and then they have the store itself. So you can go visit the dye studio when the dyer is there, who is the owner of the store, I believe, from what I understand. If that's wrong, I apologize. And they can show you new dyeing projects and bats of yarn and of fleece. So you can definitely check those out. So I would definitely recommend that store. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that tour here, and then we'll talk about the second place I went. Okay, so that was Get Stitchin'. The second place that I went was the Knit Stars store. So Knit Stars, as many of you may have heard them for their tutorials, they have an entire group of lessons and classes available that are digitally recorded, and they're pre-recorded, so you can just purchase them and then you can watch them as many times as you want. They also have a community called the Yarniverse where you pay a monthly fee and then you get to watch certain classes over the years that they've had. You can watch those over and over and over again. And they're also introducing weekly or monthly videos as well to help kind of spread out or increase that library to keep people continuing to be involved in that. I think right now they do have a special going on where you can get 2 weeks for $1 of the Yarniverse if you want to try it out. And then after that, I think it's like $39.99 for per month. So definitely something to check out. And then Knit Stars being a huge thing, being a huge Stars actually used to be a store called Loop rather, that was in Tulsa, and then they moved into and became the Knit Stars flagship store. So in the Knit Stars store, they have exclusive yarns. So they have they have their own yarn. So they have their own brands of some cotton, some linen, some wool blends of their own brand, their house brand, and then they also have a lot of big names. So when you go in there, you will see a lot of big names dyers, like Amy of Labiana May is in there, Adela of Lola Bean Yarn Co., Hedgehog Fibers, who else is in there? Madeline Tosh is in there, and then they have the exclusive GG colors, not exclusive, but they have the GG colors in there with some different projects and samples that were made out of the GG. When I say GG, I mean Gay Gillespie specialty colors in a couple of different brands of yarns, which is that bright orange that she loves. In case you've ever watched anything she's ever done ever, she's always wearing orange. So it's her specialty color in orange there. And then they do have a mix of other things too. They have like Barocco, they have some Rowan tweed, some Rowan wool, and they have They have kind of a mix of a bunch of, they have some Malabrigo, they have some, it's mostly hand-dyed yarns, but they also have kind of the non-hand-dyed yarns as well. And then they have a whole wall of just Chow Gu needles. So if you are a Chow Gu girl or boy, check that out. You have pretty much any needle that you would want. Any length of cable, any needle size, they have it all there. And they have notions, they have buttons, they have all kinds of things in the store. So definitely go check them out. And it's a huge store for a yarn store. It's the largest one I've been in. You can definitely see, that they have all of those exclusive Knit Stars, because Knit Stars does come out with exclusive yarns that you can only get if you join Knit Stars or if you purchase the series. So they do have some of that in there as well, kind of mixed in. So definitely go check them out. And they're a little bit hidden. So you kind of have to look at the top of the building where it says Knit Stars, and you have to park behind the building. There's a little guy that sits out there. There's like a parking attendant, and he will say, you just say, "Oh, I'm going to Knit Stars," and they're like, "Okay," and you just park because it's a private parking lot, but you can park there if you're going to Knit Stars. So would definitely recommend. And I'm going to go ahead and insert the tour here so you can see what they have. Okay, so that was my Tulsa yarn crawl, I guess you could say. My own Tulsa yarn crawl um, that I had. And at each of the stores, I was able to find something that I really wanted and just couldn't not go home with. So let me show you my yarn haul for going to those stores. So at the Knit Stars store, I only got 2 balls of yarn. They're the same thing. So they're this Rowan Norwegian wool. They are 50-gram skeins because I do have a project in mind for these. and I wanted something that was going to be a little bit more sticky, that was going to be non-superwash, really just Norwegian wool, like that strong wool, for this project, and I think this is going to be perfect. They do have this yarn, but they only have it in 2 colors at the store. They only have it in this blue, and then they have it in like a natural color, natural white cream color. But would highly recommend, if you like woolly wools, this is it. This is the one. So yeah, so I do have a project in mind for that. And then let's see. And then the rest of it I got at Get Stitchin'. So this is their bag. It doesn't say the name of the store on it. It's just Zebra, which is fun. And then I really do like West Yorkshire Spinners. It's generally a non-superwash wool, and they have a DK weight 100% wool line called Bo Peep. So this is their Bo Peep yarn. This is in the natural color. I had it caked up while I was there. Not all of them, but some of them. And then this is the blue, kind of a jean denim blue on that one. And again, I have a pattern in mind for this as well. This is, let's see, yeah, it's called 100% Falkland Islands wool West Yorkshire Spinners Bo Peep Pure. You can see the label there. And let's see, does this have a colorway? Dandelion is this kind of goldish yellowish color. Got this green, same thing, Bo Peep, DK, West Yorkshire Spinners. And this is the, let's see, Rosemary colorway. And then, okay, I got a pair of, sorry for all the crinkling, Knitter's Pride Mindful collection is what they have. I got a set of needles because, again, they were having a knit group in there, and I wanted to knit with, but I didn't bring a project with me because I didn't know if you could knit in the store. I'd never been there before, so I didn't know people would be knitting. So I got a pair of needles, and I started knitting on, let's see, here's the bear color of the Bo Peep. I got one of them caked up and one of them I just left. You know, people were working on stuff, but excuse me, my eye is itchy. But I wanted to try this Barocco Vintage Baby yarn. It is a wool blend. It is, let me see, 52% acrylic, 40% wool, 8% nylon. Vintage Baby in the black. I originally was going to use this for this project that I have in mind. It's a design, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But I really just don't, this yarn is fine. It's just not for this project. It's just not. So I got 2 balls of this. That's fine. I'll use it for something else. It'll be fine. But yeah, just wasn't right for this project. So I need something more sticky, more woolly, but they didn't have any black yarn or dark yarn. That was just wool. Everything they had was more of a lighter color. So yeah, it just didn't work out, but that's okay. But that's all I got from those yarn stores. Again, I would definitely go check them out if you are in the Tulsa area. And I got all of this for a decent price. So these are 50 gram skeins. I got them for $9 a piece. So that's not bad at all. Especially if you're looking for, you know, a more budget friendly option. And it is woolly wool because it's 100% wool. It's non-superwash. And I'm sure it's going to knit up lovely. I've never heard of the Bo Peep line before, but I'm super interested to see how it's going to knit up and to see if it sticks, see if it's sticky. It feels super soft. So it doesn't feel like like Rauma phenol garn or something that's like a little bit more rustic than this, but it does feel like, 100% wool. So yeah, so this will be turning into something soon as that pattern comes along. But that is all I have for that trip. That is all the yarn that I purchased, and I will be sharing too in a couple weeks time that I was able to take a tour of my local yarn shop as well, called Unraveled, which you will hear all about from Petra, who's the owner, in a couple of weeks. So look forward to that as well. If you like this type of content, please let me know in the comments. Give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.